The carbon offsetting process requires a source of carbon credits, a project which reduces its carbon emissions in a measurable way, a carbon registry, such as Credible Carbon, which uses carbon auditors to confirm that the claimed emission reductions are real and then registers them. And finally, buyers who wish to reduce their carbon footprint by purchasing carbon credits and retiring them. This is called offsetting.
The Clean Development Mechanism enabled countries to reduce their carbon emissions, their greenhouse gases, by purchasing offsets which are sourced from projects in the developing world where a greenhouse gas reduction can be achieved.
Credible Carbon is a carbon standard and a registry that covers projects across sub-Saharan Africa, tries to make them legible, credible, as the name suggests, and visible to the international carbon market.
There are a few things that make Credible Carbon unique. I think their most defining characteristic is the fact that their projects are socially amazing and that most of their money goes to the actual project.
Talking about Credible Carbon, it's like making my smile because this is what is making our business growing.
It doesn't cost those projects anything. They are not charged a single cent. Credible Carbon only recovers its revenue once it has sold a credit.
Credible Carbon came to us like Amazing Grace. They basically educated us pertaining to the carbon credits, and from there on we have grown.
We explicitly try and link the decarbonisation effort, which is a global challenge, with what we understand as a kind of the twin challenge of also alleviating poverty.
Anton has been involved with it from the beginning. He has years of history in the climate world.
They choose projects that have this developmental co-benefit. They make sense from an environmental perspective, from a poverty alleviation perspective.
He profoundly cares about both social stuff and environment, and I think Credible Carbon has enabled those to be put together.
We look for the projects that can ultimately pass a carbon audit. Everything that we do must be checked by a third party auditor who has no vested interest in the project and is qualified to pass judgment on these projects. And all our projects have to clear that audit hurdle before they can issue credits. That's very important for us.
I'm a resident here in Kuyasa. These houses are 30 square meter houses. They did not have a ceiling. And then it's an asbestos roof. We all know the problem of asbestosis. And then the condensation in winter, the house will be full of condensation. And then imagine people are going to sleep. And then they sleep on the wet, we sleep on the wet, very wet beds. And we will use paraffin to warm our houses. Paraffin is not healthy. But with the introduction of the Kuyasa CDM project, now the houses are warm because of that insulated ceiling and also because of the solar water heaters.
So how do you go about retrofitting ceilings and solar water heaters and some energy efficient lighting in a community like Kuyasa? And what we decided to do is that we were going to do it by creating jobs.
We have installed 2,309 houses with solar water heaters and insulated ceilings. We have provided more than 100 jobs to everyone that is staying here in Kuyasa.
And many of those people then went on to go and get permanent jobs.
It's a house now, you can see. It's a house.
So all the investment basically that Credible Carbon have been pumping into Walker's Recycling, we've taken that and we've reinvested into our business. We're renting this property, right? Last year we put in a bid and we're just waiting for transfer to take place. So we've used of that money for a deposit for property. We've also used the money basically that Credible Carbon made available for us to streamline our operations.
When I think back of the cash that we get from carbon credits, wow, it was a huge amount for us. It's when we managed to buy laptops, to buy our bins, waste bins, renew bags, the recycling bags. We bought trailer, we bought a bakkie. It was a huge amount for us.
Well, we've sold carbon credits through Credible Carbon 3 times. In 2014, we were the first in Africa. I think we were the first in the world to sell the credits. 50% of the net income, that's after auditing and Credible's fees, goes to staff, and 50% comes to us. So it's been profoundly life-changing for my staff.
The funding that we get from the funders, it helps the community at large to be able to sustain their lives and better their livelihoods. And for us, in order to be able to reach more people, we need that funding and that planning that we say, okay, we need to reach this many people, and we need to do proposal and send it out to the funders so that they're able to say, okay, this is the work you do, I want to fund that. So we're very grateful for people that fund us, because it's not just for us abalimi, it's for the community, it's for the economy of Khayelitsha as a whole.
Our goal is to use that decarbonisation process to actually address inequality and poverty, with understanding that if you don't do that, actually all our efforts to address the climate crisis might end up being futile. There isn't a socio-political compact that can endure around the climate unless it includes many more people and addresses poverty at the same time.